In just over 24 hours, Title 42, a border restriction policy, is set to expire.
As Ivan Rodriguez reports, it's expected to further increase the number of migrants trying to cross into the U.S. and intensify an already challenging humanitarian crisis.
The crisis at the border is ramping up as the end of Title 42, a pandemic-era policy, approaches. The Biden administration is now taking unprecedented measures to manage the border.
We are making it very clear that our border is not open, that crossing irregularly is against the law.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says if migrants cross the border illegally, it will mean tougher consequences.
Unlike under Title 42, an individual who is removed under Title 8 is subject to at least a 5-year bar on re-entry into the United States and can face criminal prosecution if they attempt to cross again.
The administration also says smugglers have been hard at work spreading misinformation to migrants that the border is open.
It will not be. They are lying. To people who are thinking of making the journey to our southern border, know this. The smugglers care only about profit.
Hundreds of U.S. troops are also set to begin a range of missions along the southern border, but will not be interacting directly with migrants.
They'll be providing additional ground detection and monitoring capability, warehouse support, data entry. Again, they'll be there in support of Customs and Border Patrol. They will not be conducting any type of law enforcement activities.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
There are many questions surrounding the expiration of Title 42.
Joining us now to answer some of those questions is Professor Parker Sheffy from the University of Houston Law Center. Parker, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We've been talking a lot about Title 42, but for those who don't know, can you explain how the policy has been used since its invocation at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic?
I apologize. Can you repeat the question? There's some kickback.
Oh, no, it's okay. Can you explain how Title 42 has been used since it was its invocation during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, thank you so much. So Title 42 is not an immigration specific law. In the previous clip, we heard Alexander Mayorkas speak about Title 8 as opposed to Title 42. Title 8 is where immigration laws are housed. Title 42 are where health-related laws are housed within the greater codification of the system. So how has Title 42 been used? It's a health law that has been used to expel immediately individuals who are seeking asylum based upon the underlying public health emergency that was COVID-19.
And Professor, with this expiration set for tomorrow, what does it mean for the state of immigration law?
So in theory, with the expiration of the public health emergency ending tomorrow, the immigration laws as they existed before the implementation of Title 42 would go back into place. However, as Secretary Mayorkas was indicating in that clip, the Biden administration has come down with a series of regulations and changes to the asylum process that will simultaneously commence tomorrow with the ending of Title 42. A couple examples of what that looks like is, one, individuals who transit through a third country and do not seek asylum in that third country would be categorically barred unless they use this new introduction of an app on a phone called CBP One. Another example of a change is that previously individuals, regardless of how they entered the country, so whether you're entering lawfully or unlawfully, once you're here inside the United States, you have the ability to file for asylum within 1 year. Filing doesn't mean that you're going to win, and the approval rates in Houston are incredibly low, but you at least have the option to apply for asylum. So The change is if an individual enters outside of a lawful port of entry, so essentially crossing the border between ports of a lawful port, they are categorically barred from seeking asylum.
Parker, who is seeking entry into the U.S., and does that reflect historic patterns, or are you noticing new patterns emerging?
It's a really great question, and thanks for asking that. I think one thing, so it's not a controversial statement that immigration is a hot button issue over the course of the last several years. But one thing to point out is in 1980, there were 1.6 million encounters of migrants at the southern border. In 2000, again, 1.6 million encounters of migrants at the southern U.S. border. Here, 2021, 1.6 million encounters of individuals at the southern U.S. border. So it's an ongoing issue that the underlying reasons, that what we would call push factors that cause an individual to leave their home country to make that treacherous journey have not been resolved. The composition currently over the last several years has shifted a bit. So the largest majority of individuals come from the Northern Triangle countries, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala. But in addition to that, either due to the deteriorating conditions in both Venezuela and Haiti, there's also been an uptick in individuals from both of those countries as well.
Professor Parker Sheffy with UH Law Center, we appreciate your time with us this afternoon ahead of this expiration of Title 42 tomorrow. Thank you.